Hello, mystery quilters, another month and another block. And as usual, I'm going to give you options. So this is going to be applique this month. So we're going to do in total on this quilt 4. So you can make them as simple or as complicated as you like. When you get your patterns, they're each going to have a separate file. So you open one file at a time. You'll have more than 4, of course, so you can pick. So you're going to get the pattern. There's going to be picture and the pattern pieces, right? So what I do is I staple each animal separate. I want to keep them together. I don't want to mix them up. Okay, so today we're going to work with the dolphin. So on the dolphin, I have a round piece that goes right underneath there. So I'm going to lay this in here under fusible paper. Now this fusible paper that I'm using right now it's good stuff, but I'm not even going to tell you what it is because it's so old. I really don't think they make it anymore, so I don't want to frustrate you. So this one, you can see the shiny glue. You see that shine? And it's rough. So that's the glue. This is the paper holding the glue. So you want the glue side down. There's another fusible, and that's why I don't need to tell you about this one because this is the one I love the best. Soft Fuse. I use it so much, I buy the roll on Amazon, and it's super, super soft. Look at this. That's 2 layers. It's so soft, it's stuck together. I can feel the dots on this side, and the paper side's a little more slick. So I love this stuff. I use it for wool, I use it for cotton. There's also Steam-A-Seam, which comes in light and heavy. Always go light. You don't need the heavy. You don't need cardboard. You don't need the weight. You don't need the stiffness. You just need a little bit of glue to stick 2 pieces of fabric together so that you can sew them easily. So now I've got my choice of interface right here. I'm just so cheap with my supplies. I just like to get the best usage. And I'm just going to trace. I do a dotted line. Go fast. Doing a dotted line seems to be more accurate than if I try to trace straight. You can go a lot faster with a dotted line. Okay, so this is the dolphin. So I'm going to mark dolphin, and the pattern piece is B. Now, the dolphin has a body, but you can see on my body, it's in 2 pieces because it wouldn't fit on the same page. So there's a couple of these patterns like that. So I'm going to lay this flat, find my best little spot in there. Oh, that nestles perfectly. Look at how cool that is. Now, on this paper, there's a line there. Okay, that's the first thing I'm going to mark is that line. And then I'm going to trace the body. And if you want a sharp fin there, you can make it sharp. These are not real animals. They're just fabric that we're playing with and having fun, and we can make them however we want. You can cut them in pink and purple. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so now I need the tail. So, flip the page, and there's my line right here. I'm going to line up with this line again. You see that? Perfect. Same thing here. If you want to make these points, you could. I'm going to go with it round just because I tend to like round shapes more than points. Rounds are a little bit harder to work with. Okay, so now I'm going to mark this dolphin, and this is C. So now I've got everything done. Oh, what I forgot to address is every animal has eyes. So the dolphin just has one eye. So that would be black, and that would be the white dot. So this one has two eyes. So that's two black, two white. But I'm not going to address that right now. I could trace that and circle and cut it. But I might put a button there. I might embroider. I might use fabric. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. So I'm going to address the eyes later. It's the last thing you do, and I'll decide then. So now that I've got everything cut on paper here, I'm going to cut around that dotted line, 1/8 fat eighth to 1/4 inch away. Doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, but you're going to go right around the edge. Okay, it can be messy, doesn't matter. Just do not cut that line. Okay, so I've got all my pieces cut. Now I have to addition the fabric. So I'm thinking, be a little playful. I think I want something in the background. Maybe I'll use my water, but this one I've had laying around and I just like it. So I'm going to audition the fabrics. So there's a blue, there's a gray. It's like, I like those two. My main objective here is contrast, high contrast. Okay, instead of the gray, maybe I use the blue. Maybe I swap out the turquoise and use the gray. Ooh, I kind of like that. But this blue is not really the same blues that I'm using in the rest of my quilt. I'm using clean colors. So I'm not sure if I want to go that way. Maybe I'll find another blue that's bright. Right now, I'm liking this better because it's clean colors that I'm using, and I'm getting that high contrast. So now that I've got my fabric, let's go to the pressing table. So here I've done, and I do a lot, is I've cut a heart. The heart is the perfect shape to test your applique because it's got an inverted V, it's got the out V, it's got curves, and it's got straights. It's the perfect shape to play with applique. So here's my applique. There's the front, here's the back. I'm going to lay the glue side to the back of the fabric. Okay, cut that a little short. So I could cut it right here on my, pressing station here, but never, ever put your iron straight on that. If glue oozes out a little bit, it's going to go on your iron. It's going to go on your ironing board cover. So put it on. You can get a Teflon or a silicone sheet and sandwich it in between. If you don't have this sheet, you can use muslin. You can use leftover fabric that you're never going to press on again in case that glue goes out. If I get glue that oozes out on this, ooh, that's hot. It'll just rub right off when it's cool. So now I've got my heart pressed to my fabric, right side. Now I cut on the line. This cut will be so accurate through the paper. It really stabilizes what you're doing. Get right in the corner. Okay, there's my heart. Okay, now to get the paper off, I just take a pin, run it straight across, and it just peels right off. Okay, the shiny side is my glue. So now I'm going to decide where do I want it on this special block. So let's put it this way. Oh, no, I'm going to turn it this way. Same thing. Sandwich it between the Teflon sheet. Apply heat. Make sure that it's sticking really well. Don't touch this sheet. It's hot. Okay. Now look at this. It's so soft. So soft. Okay. So let's go over to here, the sewing machine. So before we start the video, I went ahead and tested different stitches, widths and lengths of what I'm going to use around my heart or on my applique. So I decided it's a smaller heart right there, so I'm going to go a little narrow. But our animals are bigger, so I could use a bigger stitch. But for demo purposes, I'm going to go a little bit narrower. I've chosen a zigzag. And the zigzag, I'm going to start at the point. And if you can see, the inside stitch is all the way on the heart. The outside stitch is right on the edge, right on this edge. Okay? And I've actually slowed down my machine a little bit. And I have needle down position so that if I get to a spot, I can turn. Curves are hard. They're harder than straights. When I get to the inverted V, I'm going to go a little bit past, and I'm going to stop with the needle to the inside. And I'm going to continue. Now, some of you might not like this stitch. You want it more invisible. So you could go to a single needle and stitch a skinny eighth. I told you I slowed this down, right? Okay, and when you come to the end, I would definitely back stitch, just like 2 stitches. Okay, cut my threads. So you can see this is a little bit cleaner look. This is a, a different look. You can do any stitch at all you want. If you're going to do hand turn applique, you could use the fusible, center it on the heart, cut your seam allowance around it, then turn under right on the fusible interface. And then you could use a blind stitch. Well, you guys know what a blind stitch is. You could use a blind stitch around here, which is more invisible. So I'm going to play. I want you to play. I want you to maybe put a fish in the shark's mouth, or a shell, or a worm in somebody's mouth, or sunglasses, or a funny hat. Get a little silly and try something different and just add it in there. These are your blocks. Make them special. Have fun, and there'll be more instructions, but I wanted you to see all of this process. Thank you.